The Miami Dolphins lose in heartbreaking fashion to the Buffalo Bills, 31-21 to fall to 0-3 on the year, and we have a lot to talk about. And I know we have mentioned and screamed to the heavens to fire Mike McDaniel, but the truth is, Mike McDaniel is not the reason you lost this football game. He is not. This Dolphins team actually came out with a lot of competitive fire. I mean, opening kickoff, return to the 50. You march down the field, pick up 50 yards, 6.5-minute drive, go up 7-0, committing to the run. I thought Mike McDaniel actually called a good football game as well. But you lost this football game because you have bad quarterback play and your defensive captain made the most boneheaded mistake that you could possibly make. But also, you can't let the special teams coordinator, Craig Aukerman, escape either, because why the heck is he calling a punt block in the fourth quarter? Just be happy you got off the football field. We'll get to more on that in a second, but I want to get to QB1 because he should not be QB1 much longer. This guy is a certified scrub. He is. And I feel bad that I defended him at times throughout the past 2 years because that makes me look bad. I don't want to look bad. But thinking that this guy gets overhated was maybe the most incorrect thing that I have ever said here as the host of this channel. Because, listen, the Dolphins simply usually do win games. Coming into this year, 38-24 with Tua as the starter. Now they're 0-3. And now he's 38-27. But the glaring weaknesses that Tua has, they are just shining too bright right now. His lack of creativity, his lack of arm strength, his lack of clutchness, his scared, panic movements in the pocket, and his over-willingness to check the ball down. It just can't be something that a franchise quarterback has. I mean, it is bad. Like, there was at one point in the second half, his average depth of target was what, negative half a yard? How is that possible? Seriously, how is that possible? This is now another game where he's turned the ball over late. I mean, how about this from Barry Jackson? After that interception he threw, down 28-21, they were driving inside the Bills' red zone. 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions in his career in the final 5 minutes of a football game, down by 1 score. And his passer rating is in the 70s. This guy is not a franchise quarterback because you want to know what the truth is? A lot of people will make a lot of noise about the lack of arm strength, the lack of creativity, the lack of mobility. All that can be pushed to the wayside if you are coming up with big plays in big situations late in games. Tua is unable to do it, and he's had that same deficiency his entire career. I mean, that play where he throws the INT, he looks left to Achane quickly to try to get that corner in the flat to go to the running back to open up that hole in the zone for Waddle. But what he doesn't realize is that the linebacker sitting in the middle of the football field, when he sees Tua look left as soon as he catches the ball, is going to drift that way to go gang tackle Achane. So he's right there for the easy interception when Tua comes back to the middle of the field for Waddle. It is just incompetent and bad quarterback play. It is. What is your one-word reaction to describe Tua today? Ass. I don't know if you could say that. That's what it is. Simply put, that's my one word. I'm running out. Like, there's nothing that I would like more than to fire McDaniel, fire Chris Grier, get rid of Tua, and reset. Is that going to happen in the next 8 months? Yes, it will. Well, say 2 out of 3. I don't think Tua is going to be gone because I don't know who would take Tua. And with that contract, he's simply going to be here next year. Unless you cut him and have $99 million of dead cap, I find it hard to believe they're going to do that. It's not going to happen. But the fact that he is just shriveled in big moments, time after time after time, it is exhausting. It really is. And I don't know if it's quarterback play. I don't know if it's route concepts. the offensive line. I just simply have a hard time coming to the realization and having a hard time believing that you can have an offense with the speed of Tyreek Hill, Jayen Waddle, and Achane, yet have 22 completions for 146 yards. And like I said, I am not putting this game on Mike McDaniel because I thought he called a good game offensively. You had 3 touchdowns, and you were driving to tie the game up at 28 before Tua makes a boneheaded throw over the middle of the field. And when you judge a head coach, you have to judge how his football team plays in terms of, do they roll over and let their dad, Josh Allen, rub their little tummies and say, oh, yeah, you're coming into my house, a little 30-point blowout. No, they came out and punched the Bills in the mouth with their offensive game plan. And then in the second half, we'll get to the defense here in a second. I still can't get over how bad they are, but they did get 3 stops in a row in the second half. The Dolphins were going to have the football in the fourth quarter with about 8 minutes to go, tied at 21. And then Zach Sealer happened. But the point remains, the team did not roll over. And for that reason alone, I don't think you could fire him just yet. Will his time come this year? Yes. This early into the season, I don't think it's the time. After what I said the first 2 weeks, seeing how hard they played and how they competed for 60 minutes against the Bills today, on the road, a much superior team, I don't know how you can come to the realization you're firing him just yet. I don't think you can. More coming here on the defense and Zach Sealer. But get started with Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day. With the right decisions on Prize Picks, you can get paid where it's good to be right. It's so simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks offers injury reboots, so if one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. They invent the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Double your money even if one of your picks does not hit. This was my entry for today's game. I did not get it done. Unbelievable for me here. Achane, 29 receiving yards. That's brutal. I mean, Waddle didn't get more than 52.5 either. So just overall bad. I'll be moving on, folks. But join me on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, we got to talk about, let's go special teams first and then the defense. Because, my God, Zach Sealer, are you serious, dude? Like I mentioned it briefly, you're tied at 21. Your defense got 2 stops in the third quarter. Then you get a stop in the fourth quarter. After you tied the game. You tied the game at 21. Bills are at midfield. You get a stop. For the third straight time. And then Craig Aukerman calls a punt block at midfield. Why on earth are you calling a punt block? You should be thanking the heavens that this terrible defense put together by the incompetent Chris Greer was able to get off the football field 3 straight possessions. But Aukerman calls a punt block, and then your captain, your supposed defensive leader, roughs the kicker. And you could make the argument it was running instead of roughing, whatever. It would have been 4th and 2, and the Bills would have went for it, and they probably would have got it. So to me, it doesn't matter. The point is, if you want to consider yourself a leader of this football team, you can't make decisions that he made running, roughing the kicker, whatever you want to call it, in that situation. And if we're going to be real here, Zach Sealer got a big extension right before the season, well-deserved off the last 2 years that he's had. He has basically took that money and ran. He has been, where's Waldo out there? I can't find him. Hasn't really forced any pressures. Hasn't made a big play in the run game. The biggest play Zach Sealer has made this year through 3 games is for the Buffalo Bills. If I'm not mistaken, he's your highest paid defensive player now. Maybe not with the last year of his contract still on that previous deal. But if you count for his extension, he might be the highest paid defensive player you have. And he's been non-existent so far. More on the defense coming, but want to shout out everybody who joined the channel. Listen, I appreciate everybody. Thank you for helping us cross 75K subscribers on Thursday night stream. Even though this team sucks, we'll be here for every game day. We still have 2 videos coming out every day. Appreciate everybody for joining us along this ride. Frustrating, but it'll be worth it one day, I hope. Once again, though, this defense is not good. And yes, they did play much better in the second half. Ironically enough, they allowed more points in the second half than the first half. They forced 3 stops tonight, which I would not have guessed it was that much. Technically, they got a stop because Matt Prater missed a 39-yard field goal. And then you got 2 stops in the third. And then you would have gotten a 4th if Zach Sealer doesn't rough the kicker. I mean, I just still can't get over that. That is so unbelievable. Every time it just goes off in my mind, I just can't believe it. You only held Allen at 213 passing yards, gave up 3 touchdowns. The run defense is unacceptable. And this goes back to Zach Sealer. You gave up 157 rushing yards on 27 carries. That's 5.8 yards per attempt for Buffalo. Your front 7, which I said was the best part of your entire football team coming into the year, has been downright embarrassing. Ramondre Stevenson cooked you last week. The Daniel Jones-led Colts got anything they wanted. And then now this tonight. I can't believe I was that wrong about this defense and this front 7. I knew the secondary was going to be a shit show. But this front 7 being bullied as much as it has, you've got nothing from your rookies. I think you had 1 good play from Kenneth Grant. Jalen Phillips can't tackle anyone. I think he's missed a million tackles at the line of scrimmage, where it could be a gain of nothing at this gain of nothing. Instead, it's a gain of 4, gain of 5. Jordan Brooks has been heavily disappointing. I know a lot of us are going to be upset with Tua, as we should. He was terrible in the late situation again. But this team is so far away from competing. It is so far away. You need a new quarterback. You need a new offensive line. And you need a pretty much top-to-bottom new defense. I mean, I would have thought coming into this year that if things go wrong, it's because, all right, maybe the offensive line doesn't hold up and the secondary is really bad. And you're like, okay, we address O-line, we address secondary and free agency in the draft next year. Maybe we have a chance. We are so far away. So far away. There's not many people that I would want on this roster again next season. Waddle, Achane, Malik Washington, Patrick Paul, Aaron Brewer. Is Chop Robinson, MIA? What is he doing? Nothing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Who do you blame for the loss tonight? If I had to give one answer, would it be Tua or Zach Sealer? Coop's putting up the number 1 for Tua. I'm going to go Zach Sealer. I do. I really, because think about this. If he doesn't do what he did, it's tied with the Dolphins have the ball. And even if Tua happens to throw the interception, the defense could either give up a score or get a stop, and you get the ball back with the chance to tie or take the lead. I get it. It's a really bad interception from Tua. And I mean, I said it this entire beginning of the video that he can't be the quarterback of the future of this team. But I think I do blame Zach Sealer's roughing the kicker more. I do. All right, that will do it for today's post-game video. We'll be back early tomorrow morning for a Overreaction Friday morning video. We'll also be live tomorrow to recap more thoughts on this game and what the future is. So make sure you join us. Make sure you subscribe. See you guys tomorrow.